Hello there, it's time for the penultimate round, round 9 of the 2017 Daytona DMAX Heavy Heats Championship. Now, Tomek Zaustovic has become a double champion earlier on today, picking up the Enduro title. He's got a clear view of sight, having to have a bit of fun in the final couple of rounds of the championship. But the battle for second is clearly on. The likes of Lee Whitney, Tarek Almu, Rob Bennett. Now, we had heat number 2 earlier on. It was a five-way scrap between Bennett, Almu, Zaustovic. You also had Paul Manton in there as well, and it all went awry because the returning Amendola was in the mix. All of a sudden, coming up around the final corner, it all went wrong. 3 wide, and it did not stick. And Rob Bennett was not a happy man, I can tell you. He'll be out for blood this afternoon. So without further ado, it's time to go racing here at Daytona Tamworth. So, with the Inters now heading into the pits, it's time for our last encounter of the weekend here at Daytona Tamworth. It's round 9 of the 2017 Daytona DMAX Heavy Heats Championship. It's already been wrapped up with just 2 rounds remaining through double champion. I'm proud to say that of Tomek Zaustovic, who's going to have a lot of fun this afternoon, I believe. We have seen some controversial encounters, including heat number 2, when it was a 5-way scrap between Zaustovic, Almu, Bennett, Amendola and Manton, and it went south very quickly for Bennett, who found himself pointing the wrong way on the start-finish straight, with Almu not being able to go anywhere. Bennett then parked it on the outskirts of turn 1. Tomek Zaustovic took the win in that one as well. So on the front row, it looks like we've got Zaustovic and Pritchard ahead of Amendola and Lee Whitney. You've also got Chris Monroe and Paul Manton, Vinod Hirani, Darren Hughes, Rob Bennett, Tarek Almu. You've got 3 Sterler brothers at the back of the field. But this is going to be hard charged. 11 minutes plus 1 lap, 14 competitors. They need to get into formation pretty quickly before we go green. Otherwise, race control will tell them to go around for another formation lap. So round the final turn they come. Zaustovic to your left, Pritchard to your right, Amendola and Whitney, and we go green for the last time at Tamworth. And it was side by side between Amendola and Pritchard heading down into the runs into turn 2. You've got Monroe in there, you've got Amendola, you've got Whitney, you've also got Manton.
But what a start there by Tomek. Really done well to just get ahead of everyone, get a couple of car lengths already. It's just enough to guarantee something. Not on the first lap, obviously, but it's just enough of a breathing space.
And there's a battle going on between Lee Whitney, Paul Manton and Chris Monroe a little bit further down the order. At the moment, it's Tomek Zaustovic leading from this is a surprise to me, Tommaso Amendola in second, Chris Monroe third, Lee Whitney fourth, Alex Pritchard fifth. Then you've got Paul Manton, Rob Bennett, Tarek Almu, Darren Hughes, Vinod Hirani.
And there's a number 31, so that's Amendola being worn with a black flag, being issued with a black flag.
Oh, not again. This does not. Black flags and Tommaso Amendola seem to go well in this championship. So he's got 3 laps to come in, and he'll find out why. I think that was for excessive advantage by contact coming into turn 1. So that was advantage by contact for Tommaso Amendola on turn 3 on Alex Pritchard. Meanwhile, Tomek Zaustovic is still leading. Last time around in front of Amendola, who will have to go into the pits very shortly. It was 0.6 of a second, so that will promote Chris Monroe into second. Lee Whitney third, Alex Pritchard fourth, Paul Manton in fifth. Then you've got Bennett and Almu. Now these two had a bit of bad blood after heat number 2 when they came together on the outskirts of turn 12. Tomek Zaustovic threw it up the inside. It went 3 wide. Then you had Bennett spinning the other way, Almu right behind him. Then you had Paul Manton ending up in the barrier. And Tommaso Amendola comes back roaring onto the track, having served his black flag penalty. So leaders coming through. Zaustovic comes round the final corner, across the start-finish line he comes. Now it's Chris Monroe. Then it's Lee Whitney fending off Alex Pritchard into turn 1. Nice little try of a switchback from Pritchard coming out of turn 1 into turn 2 they go. Manton hot on their heels. Bennett and Almu not that far behind.
tried the cutback, it didn't work. You know, he got a good run on the exit of turn 1, but it just wasn't enough momentum. That means he's going to have to wait just that little bit longer to get past.
And it's still all to play for in the battle for third. Whitney is still ahead of Pritchard, who's got Manton closing on his back bumper. Then you still got Bennett and Almu, who seem to be locked together in 6th and 7th.
I'll tell you what though, it is looking interesting. The battle for third really is the battle for third, but with 5 different karts getting involved, Chris Monroe's done really well to get out of the way of all of this, but you got Lee Whitney having to battle off Alex Pritchard, and we know those two can go ham and tongs when they need to. You know, mix in Paul Manton as well, who did very well in the heats, and you've got a fantastic battle on your hands for the last 5 minutes of the race.
Well, Paul Manton went completely 90 degrees sideways on the penultimate heat before the grand final, just off turn 11. I think there was a little tap involving himself and Tarek Almu, so Paul's done really good to come back and is fighting for what could be a podium place. And Almu is there as Bennett goes side by side, goes past Paul Manton, clean overtake, as Almu was trying to go past as well, couldn't quite make it stick. They go down into turn 2, now into the turn 3 right-hand sweeper. Just under a minute and a half to go. He's running in the 56s, so he just crosses the line now. 9 minutes 36 completed. Yes, he'll get this and he'll get one more lap.
With the new fastest lap to boot, 56.778.
As Manton is still hustling Bennett, as Pritchard went very off track going into turn 2, trying to battle past Lee Whitney for third.
Kicked up the dust trying to get past, didn't he?
He did indeed. As Pritchard is really on the back bumper of Whitney for third. It's a drag race past, and Pritchard swoops past Whitney into turn number 1 to take third.
A tenth of a second over the line. It's extended that even by as we go through turn number 3 now.
So nice work by Alex Pritchard, bided his time to get past Lee Whitney. Last lap board is being shown to Tomek Zaustovic, the number 2 seed. Here comes Chris Monroe. Now, Dan, this battle, oh well, look at that. Rob Bennett goes past Lee Whitney going into the final corner. Paul Manton's trying to go past. Lee Whitney not happy. So both Bennett and Manton get past Whitney on the final corner of the penultimate lap of this race. Let's just keep an eye on our leader as well as the battle, including Bennett, Manton, Whitney, and also Almu. And that is for 4th.
Fantastic stuff. You know, it's still very, very tight. It's still yet to be decided, as you say. You know, weaving back onto the Indy circuit, around the final parts of the club circuit, onto the Indy circuit. You can't really tell who's going to take it. It's a difficult place to overtake now in these next couple of corners, but with a little bit of patience, you got Bennett trying to do it, but...
Round the final corner comes Tomek Zaustovic, rounding out a double win here at Daytona Tamworth, takes the win in the heat final. Who's going to be in second place? Well done to the super heavyweight of Chris Monroe. Both hands pump the air. Alex Pritchard takes the podium, and Rob Bennett takes 4th in the dying seconds ahead of Paul Manton. And at the flag, it was Tarek Almu pipping Lee Whitney. And I'll tell you what, look at Chris Monroe and Alex Pritchard going into turn 3. Fantastic sportsmanship. Another podium for Alex Pritchard. Well done, my friend, well done. The celebrations were fantastic. Tarek Almu was 6th at the flag in front of Lee Whitney. So Chris Monroe is your super heavyweight winner. Vinod Hirani was 2nd in the super heavyweight category and 8th ahead of Darren Hughes and Gary Martin, rounding out the top 10. Then it was Richard Sterler, James Sterler, Andy Sterler, and last but by no means least, due to a black flag penalty, Tommaso Amendola. So that's it for us here at Daytona Tamworth, for round 9 of the 2017 Heavy Heats Championship. It's been a fantastic weekend of racing here in Warwickshire, and we hope you've enjoyed the action, just like myself and Dan Marr have. Now, where is he?
Tomek, where are you?
Tomek. Go on, Lee. Go on, Lee. So Lee Whitney accepts it on behalf of Tomek Zaustovic. You've got a podium in the Enduros, now you've got one in the heats as well here. Must have been really good seeing the sportsmanship between you and Chris Monroe after you'd both crossed the line, both punching the air with 2 fists. That must have been great.
Yeah, I think it's really good, and I'm quite happy for Chris. I was just thinking as I was going round, although the first couple of laps I was just trying to demist myself from the red mist that sort of descended after coming off at the turn 3, because I enjoyed driving against Lee and Chris, and just thinking if we just get a bit closer we can have a really good run. But unfortunately for Lee was, not my gain, his loss. But really good driving. I've had some good drives with him all day, so really happy.
Well done, all the very best. We'll see you back at Milton Keynes. Chris Monroe, not just second place finisher, but super heavyweight winner. Well done, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Now that celebration was really good, especially seeing the sportsmanship between you. Oh, hang on. Oh, we've got a better late than not. No. Tomic, you got to wait till MK for that one. Sorry. Will the real Tomic Zastovich please stand up? Okay, as I was saying, Chris, both hands in the air, crossing the finish line. When you got the thumbs up, you must have been pleased with that one.
It's my best overall finish in DMAX, so I'm pleased with that. But I didn't think I could get to the podium. Vinod was really close behind me in qualifying for the final, so I was a bit worried about him. But the car handled nicely, and it was a shame to see Alex disappearing off at turn 3. But I'm really pleased that he came back for the podium because he deserved that. But it gave me a bit of breathing space, and a good friend of mine over there has been giving me a thumbs up off the pit wall every lap, which is good because it's me having to look and worry myself more. But yeah, absolutely chuffed to bits.
Well done, Chris. Look forward to seeing you guys at Milton Keynes. And last but by no means least in the heavy heats, our 2017... Yeah, Lee Whitney. You haven't got a doppelganger, have you? No. But Tomic, a great way to round out this round in style here at Tamworth. You said to us earlier that you've been pushing and pushing, and it just showed in the heat final as well. You got out in front, you kept a clear gap, and you just thought, I've got to go full throttle all the way through to the end.
Pretty much. That sums it up very well. So actually, my goal for today was just to take it easy in hits because I wrapped up the championship already at the last round. But it just wouldn't work. Once the lead was on it, on my head, I just kept pushing it, and yeah, it worked out very well. Although I got my black flag today for the first time in the second hit, I'm more than chuffed to win the final because I wasn't expecting that at all.
Well done, Tomic. Great work this weekend. So that rounds out the action for the Heavy Heats Championship here at Daytona Tamworth for round 9. We'll see you at the finale in just a few weeks' time when we head back home to Daytona Milton Keynes.